서점에 선체로 만화를 다 읽었고 서점에서 나오면서 이제 결정했어요. 언젠가 이게 영화로 해야겠다.
So just the idea of making a train movie, a really crazy one, excited him. And he finished the comic book standing there, and as he was walking out, he was determined to make it into a film.
And then it takes 9 years.
So you're saying it was difficult to get this made. And I read that they sold it all over the world, like more than 100 countries when they took it to the market. But was it difficult for someone to give you the money to make this? And were you able to make it? Obviously, I think you're able to make it the way you wanted to make it, but that's not really a question. But
뭐 2005년에 이제 만화책을 발간했지만 그 후에 이제 제가 괴물이랑 마더를 계속 찍고 준비할 때였거든요. 쉐이킹 도쿄라는 옴니버스도 찍었고 그거 하면서도 시간이 많이 흘렀고 그 사실 이 기차를 실제로 만들어서 기차 세트를 만들어서 영화를 찍으면 돈이 얼마나 많이 들까 잘 계산을 가늠을 못했었어요. 뭐 결국은 이제 한국에서 역사상 가장 큰 예산의 영화가 비싼 영화가 됐죠. 비록 크리스 에반스는 이제 미국 토크쇼에 나와서 요즘 되게 작지만 유니크한 영화를 하고 있다. 그 사람 입장에서 그렇게 얘기를 하지만 걔는 맨날 막 마블 영화 같은 걸 하니까 저희 입장에서 되게 큰 예산의 영화였고 한국에서는 좀 파이낸싱이 어려움이 많았죠.
So he found the graphic novel in 2005, but he was prepping and shooting films like The Host and Mother, and so also a 30-minute short called Shaking Tokyo. So a lot of time passed, and it took him a while to figure out how to design and execute this, because he knew he had to build the sets. But it turned into the biggest Korean film budget-wise in history. But of course, when Chris Evans talks about the movie, he says, "Oh, I'm making a really small but unique film."
Because he always makes Marvel movies. For him, this is very small movies. I understand, but in Korean industries, it's quite difficult to get financiers. But anyway, it's done.
one last question. I think the casting was perfect. And oftentimes when a director makes their first English language film, that sometimes it can become Euro-pudding or it can feel like it's not good, but everyone felt like they fit in their roles. What was it like directing a film in English, mostly in English, but you still had some Korean characters and whatnot, but was that a challenge? And can you talk about Tilda Swinton, because I absolutely love her. She was magnificent.
I met Tilda in 2011 in Cannes Film Festival. I was a jury member of some section, and she was in the competition where we need to talk about Kevin. So yeah, we just met. We did brunch together, and I'm a big fan of your works, and she also said, yeah, let's do it something together. That was all. And after that, I discovered in my script there. 그러니까 숙소에 와가지고 스크립트 보니까 틸다가 할 만한 역할이 없더라고. 그래서
But after he got back to his hotel and looked at the script, he realized there was actually no role for Tilda to play.
그 미니스터 메이슨이라는 역할이 처음에는 이제 중년 남자 역할이었는데 그거를 여자로 바꾸게 됐어요. 틸다한테 오퍼하기 위해서.
So originally the character of Mr. Mason was described as a middle-aged man, but he changed it to a female to work with Tilda.
근데 사실 뭐 굳이 그렇게 뭐 젠더 체인지를 안 해도 될 정도로 틸다라는 배우 자체가 사실 그 젠더를 되게 초월해 있는 사람인 것 같아요. 그리고 영화에도 보면 그 대사에 뭐 써라고 부르는 거는 그냥 그대로 남겨져 있거든요. 근데 뭐 전혀 이상하진 않은 것 같아요. 그게.
But it wasn't really all that necessary to make a gender change because in a lot of ways Tilda defies gender and transcends gender. And even in the script, one character calls her calls her by sir, and it didn't feel out of place.
Can you talk about those little translation boxes that were in the film? Was that something that you made up, or was that part of
Because
part of the
yeah,
original?
I really hope to protect my Korean actor Song Kang-ho. Yeah, so he cannot speak English. He's such an amazing actor, great actor. For example, in some movie, the Chinese actress casted for the Japanese geisha role, and they speak English dialogue. As an Asian audience, it looks very strange, very weird. But 그 배우들은 그냥 자기 모국어로 자국어로 연기할 때 제일 아름답지 않나 생각이 들었었어요.
So he felt that actors speaking their own language, their native language, is the most beautiful and natural.
그리고 그 통역기 같은 거는 실제로 있어요. 여러분들 그 아이폰에 어플리케이션 보면 똑같이 할 수 있어요. 실제로 속도가 뭐 사이파이에만 나오는 얘기는 아니에요.
Yeah, those translation apps exist on your iPhone. It's just not as fast.
Okay, maybe there's some questions from the audience. Okay, let me go on.
So obviously they passed through a lot more cars to get to the front than we see in the movie. Were there any cars that like were in the script originally that you weren't able to show due to budget or time constraints, like maybe a livestock train?
So the question was about there's so many cars in the film. And did you have to cut out any cars because of the budget, or was that all the cars that you planned?
그 스크립트에 묘사된 섹션인데 이제 영화에서는 없어진 그런 건 없어요. 대신 이제 스크립트 쓸 때 내가 미리 다 결정을 했었어야 됐죠. 그 크리스 에반스 말대로 예산이 되게 적은 영화니까 미리 그거를 머릿속에 컷아웃을 했는데 그럴 때 이제 잘려나간 내 머릿속에서 잘려나간 섹션들이 몇 개 있죠.
So there's not anything that was shot that was deleted because it's such a small budget film, as Chris says. He had to figure out exactly what to shoot and what not to shoot. But there is one thing that was in his mind or imagination that he didn't actually put in the script.
Actually, I hope to shoot the Jews, the animals, 그 동물원을 찍고 싶었는데
He wanted to put a zoo section in the trailer.
기린이 이렇게 기린도 한 두 마리 있어가지고 기린이 이렇게 목을 피지를 못하고 이렇게 목이 꺾인 채로 기차에서 덜렁덜렁 가는 그런 이미지를 생각을 했었어요. 근데 못하고 대신 그 정육칸을 도살된 고기들이 매달려 있는 정육칸을 찍었죠.
So he just imagined like a couple of giraffes who their necks are too long, and so they couldn't stretch out completely and just sort of hanging their head low to fit inside the car. But he ended up just shooting an abattoir section with meat hanging on the hooks instead.
Go all the way in the back. Yes.
I see a lot of references in there to North Korea. Is that my imagination, or did you insert some North Korean jingoism into the movie?
So the question was there any references to North Korea in the film?
뭐 북한을 포함해서 많은 독재 국가 또는 전체주의 국가의 느낌을 느낄 수 있죠. 특히 그 교실칸에서 애들이 세뇌당하는 듯한 모습, 또는 뭐 독일로 치면 옛날에 그 어린 나치 대원들이 뭐 모여서 이벤트하는 듯한 느낌이잖아요. 그런 게 그러니까 뭐 영화에서 보면은 오히려 교실칸이 가장 밝고 컬러풀한 분위기고 정말 햇살이 돋는 유치원 같은 분위기인데 오히려 벌어지는 일은 가장 섬찟하니까 그런 좀 이중적인 느낌을 표현해보고 싶긴 했었어요.
So just in terms of dictatorships, sure, there's a scene in the classroom where you see kids being brainwashed, which sort of could remind you of Nazi Germany and Nazi youth. Yet it's the most colorful and bright and cheerful environment where the most kind of shocking and brutal things happen. He wanted that contrast.
Yes.
How did Park Chan-wook come involved?
So can you talk about the involvement of Park Chan-wook?
He made his own production company 2004 after the big success of Old Boy. And yeah, and he suggested me, yeah, let's make some movie together in my production company. And I showed him the graphic novel. How about this? And he also loved the sci-fi genre. So yeah, let's make some great sci-fi together. And then when I shoot this movie in Prague, Barandok Studio, but yeah, he was a producer, but he stayed in Nashville for direct his own movie Stalker. So we never met
아,
in 2012. So, but yeah, 제작자로서 뭐 같이 시나리오 얘기하고 그럴 때뭐 본인도 감독이니까 저 감독인 제 마음을 또 잘 알죠. 그래서 뭐 오히려 저보다 더 과격한 아이디어도 많이 내고 대신 좀 예산이 많이 들어가는 아이디어를 막 내시더라고요.
So, as a producer during the script phase, because he's also a director, he had many discussions with Director Bong, and he understood Director Bong's concerns, and he came up with a lot of interesting ideas, innovative ideas, but a lot of them were actually expensive things.
뭐 예를 들면 그 마지막에 엔진룸에서 이렇게 뚜껑 열었을 때 뭐 엔진실 밑에 한 애들 한 200명 정도가 쫙 막 뭘 돌리고 있으면 어떠냐, 죽일 것 같은데. 그러다가 예, 좋네요. 그러면 아 근데 돈이 많이 들겠구나. 이런 식의 과정이었죠. 예.
For example, he suggested like when Curtis opens up the bottom of the engine section, there's not one kid but 200 kids inside the engine. And Director Bong said, "Great, great." And then Park realized, oh, this is going to cost a lot.
Go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of your films, there tends to be like a lead character or some character that's like got like a mental disability or it's like slow. Did you consider having a character like that for this film, or is that just something you put in other stories and not like all your films?
So the question was about a lot of your films have a character that's somewhat slow or awkward or has some sort of mental disability or issue. Did you consider putting that in this film?
그런 식의 캐릭터를 뭐 꼭 제가 어떤 obsession을 집착을 갖고 있거나 그런 건 아니고요. 근데 자연스럽게 이상하게 영화마다 그런 인물들이 나왔었어요 이전에. 왜 그랬을까 생각해 보니까 뭐 잘은 모르겠습니다만은 어쨌든 강자와 약자가 이렇게 파워 순으로 이렇게 쭉 나열돼 있어요. 저의 시나리오를 보면 캐릭터들이 강한 자, 뭐 좀 덜 강한 자, 또 약자들이 얘기하는데 약자 중에서도 제일 약자 캐릭터에 도달하다 보면 항상 그 마더에 나왔던 약간 멍청한 애라든가 그런 식으로 리타드 쪽에 그런 인물들이 꼭 나오게 되더라고요. 근데 이 영화에서는 사실 이미 기차 칸으로 그 모든 앞쪽에 부자 칸, 뒤쪽에 가난한 사람들의 칸, 이렇게 기차의 칸과 계층으로 그것이 이미 나눠져 있기 때문에 그런 인물이 나올 만한 기회는 오히려 별로 없었던 것 같아요.
So it's not like he has any kind of particular obsession about these types of characters, but they do seem to come up often. But perhaps it's because there's always a power hierarchy in his stories, from the strong to the weak. And if you go to the weakest, you get characters like the son and mother. But in this story, it's really about class division, with the rich in the front and the poor in the back. So it didn't seem like that sort of expression of character was necessary.
그리고 솔직히 고백을 하자면 지난 일이니까 고백을 할 건데 솔직하게 시나리오를 쓰다 보면은 막힐 때가 있어요. 여기 스크립트 쓰시는 분들은 다 알 텐데 그럴 때 왠지 그런 인물한테 의존하게 되는 것 같아요. 이렇게 좀 정신 상태가 안 좋은 그런 인물들은 어떤 행동이든 할 수 있거든요. 그게 정당화되고요. 사실 되게 안 좋은 거죠. 그렇게 하면 안 됩니다. 저도 안 그럴 거지만.
So, you know, if you was to be totally honest and make a confession, like during the script writing phase, like, and you guys out there who write scripts know exactly what this is. You get stuck, and you need things to rely on, and sometimes it's easy to rely on sort of mentally weak characters, and it's not really a good thing.
Oh, someone farther back. Yes, in the middle. Yes, go ahead.
Do you find that there is a difference in directing someone who speaks your own language versus someone who does not?
So what was the difference in directing someone that speaks your own language versus directing someone who does not speak English? Korean?
For example, when I was making a movie in Korea, sometimes with my Korean actors, with our Korean language, sometimes it's very, very difficult, very painful if me and actor could not share some emotion or if we have some different 시나리오에 대한 다른 해석을 갖고 있거나 그러면 뭐 아무리 같은 한국말 써도 그게 엄청 힘들거든. 되게 짜증도 나고. 그러니까 언어는 2차적인 문제인 것 같아.
So if they see the script differently, if they interpret the script differently, it could be really frustrating and difficult, even if it's in the same language.
그 일본에서 아까 쉐이킹 도쿄라는 거 찍었다고 했었는데 이제 그 일본에서 일본어는 뭐 더 모르죠. 영어도 제가 뭐 브로큰 영어만 하지만은 일본어는 더 모르는데 그 일본 배우랑 서로 마음이 너무 잘 맞고 그렇게 감정을 나누게 되니까 뭐 그다음부터는 되게 쉽더라고요. 그러니까 일본어 대사인데도 이거는 NG다, 이건 OK다라는 것도 구분할 수 있고 그래서 역시 언어는 2차적이다라는 거를 또 다시 한번 느꼈었고 그게 좋은 경험이었던 것 같고요. 설국열차 때는 뭐 여기 좀 두호 프로듀서처럼 좋은 통역자들도 많고 그래서 또 배우들도 되게 많이 도와줬고 그래서 언어 때문에 어려운 것은 그렇게 많지는 않았어요.
So he mentioned before he made a short film in Japan called Shaking Tokyo, and he doesn't speak Japanese nearly as well as he speaks English, even though his English is quite broken. But he really clicked with his actors, and it was quite easy and enjoyable to work with them, and it was quite obvious which the good takes were and which the bad takes were. So he thinks that language is secondary, and in the case of Snowpiercer, he had many translators, so it's fine.
For example, the Tilda, the Minister Mason, in the movie she said she suggests some Yorkshire accent. I don't know the nuance of the accent, the context, but yeah, she very kindly explains what is the feeling of that accent and even historical, political background and context. And talks anything about Margaret Thatcher. 그런 식으로 배우들이 많이 도와줬지 뭐 나야 뭐 그냥 재밌죠.
So in those ways, his actors really helped him, and for him it was very interesting and it's a good experience.
All the way in the back, center. Yeah.
Could you explain why you chose? How did you get Allison Pill for the teacher? That was almost against type.
I think everyone heard that. The casting of the teacher.
A few years ago, in Korea, I watched the movie The Gusman Sent to Milk. She was there with very strange hairstyle, lesbian activist. But her performance was great. 그 영화 보고 되게 반했고 그 외에도 무슨 우디 알렌 영화에서 또 본 기억이 나고요. 되게 독특하더라고요. 그 느낌이. 그래서 그 교사 역으로 했으면 좋겠다 생각은 했는데 임신을 했잖아요. 이렇게 배가 만삭인데 그 아이디어는 이제 제가 아니라 그 영화에 나온 요나 역할로 나온 고화성 양이 그 아이디어를 냈어요. 임신하면 더 재밌지 않을까 감독님. 그래서 진짜 너무 임신한 상태에서 이렇게 또 막 총을 쏘고 그래서는 안 되는데.
So he saw her in Milk and also in Woody Allen's movies, and thought she was really unique and really liked her and thought she'd be great as a teacher. And she appears as a pregnant woman in the movie, and that was actually the woman who plays the character of Yona, Koa Song, her suggestion. And she shoots guns and does all kinds of things. And shouldn't do that, but
Yes, I'm very good.
So I know there's two different cuts of the film, the Weinstein cut and then your cut. What was what we just watched? Was that your cut or was that the Weinstein cut?
So the question is, are there two different versions of the film? Was there a Weinstein? Was there a different version than the one you made? And is this your version?
Yeah, director's cut. 근데 뭐 디렉터스 컷으로 미국에서 개봉하기로 비록 뭐 소규모 개봉이지만은 그것도 뭐 와인스타인 컴퍼니에서 결정을 한 거니까 그 결정에 되게 존중하고요. 감사의 뜻을 표하고 뭐 여러 가지 소문이 있었는데 뭐 예, 한 20분 정도 줄인 버전을 한번 만들었던 건 사실이에요. 예, TWC에서. 그리고 뭐 뉴저지의 그 파라무스라는 동네에 있는 되게 괴상한 큰 멀티플렉스에서 무슨 테스트 스크린도 하고 그랬었어요. 근데 어쨌든 뭐 그런 복잡한 과정을 거쳐서 이렇게 전 세계에서 다 뭐 유럽과 아시아 다 똑같이 한국과 마찬가지로 여기서도 디렉터스 컷으로 개봉하게 돼서 감독으로서 참 기쁩니다.
So even it is the director's cut that will be released here, and even though it's a small release, it was TWC's decision, and he respects it and is thankful. And over the past few months, there's been a lot of rumors, but it's true that there was a 20-minute shorter version that was tested in Paramus, New Jersey, in a very large and strange mall. But he's happy to say that in Europe and Asia and Korea, it's the same version that you guys will see here.
On the sides over here, when you guys, yeah.
Which train in the story do you see yourself existing in?
Good question. So, which train in the story would you see yourself being in? Where's your position in the train?
저는 그 달리는 기차에서 수영을 해보고 싶어요. 밖을 보면서. 그래서 수영장 칸에서 수영을 하면서 잠시 영화를 잊고 싶은 그런 마음이죠.
So he wants to be in the swimming pool section, swimming inside the moving train, looking outside at the scenery and not thinking about movies.
There's another one over here. Yeah. Good.
So there's a lot of parallels, obviously, between current things happening in society, perhaps in prediction as to what's happening in humanity or what will happen in justice and nature. What does he see as a solution to the potential problems that we're
It's a very difficult question. This film parallels the difficulties in society. So, what's your pill for solving all of our problems? Other than sitting in the swimming pool and looking out, because that's where I want to be too. Is the swimming pool car.
이 영화를 사실 프리프로덕션 하고 있을 때 예를 들면 무슨 스카이프 미팅으로 그 배우랑 이제 오디션을 스카이프 미팅하고 있는데 그 배우가 나 좀 전에 오큐파이 월스트리트 데모 하다 왔다고 그런 배우도 있었어요. 뭐 이름을 얘기하기 뭐하지만 그런 식으로 이 영화 프리프로덕션 할 때 그런 일도 있었고요.
So during pre-production, when he was having meetings with actors, and on this particular meeting, it was via Skype, and the actor was in New York, and he was saying that he just was returning from protesting at Occupy Wall Street.
그리고 한국에서도 한국뿐 아니라 많은 나라에서도 그렇지만 요즘 양극화 문제, 중산층은 점점 없어지고 가난한 사람과 부자로 이렇게 갈라지는 양극화 문제가 심각하다라는 건 어느 나라의 그 뉴스페이퍼를 신문을 보나 다 마찬가지로 나오고 있는 또 부분이기도 하고요.
And in Korea and other countries as well, the middle class is disappearing, and it's really just a class division between rich and poor that's happening all over the place.
재밌는 것은 이 프랑스의 원작 그래픽 노블은 또 80년대 중반에 나온 거거든요. 그러니까 한국에서나 미국에서나 또는 이게 현재 2010몇 년이거나 아니면 80년대나 이 부자와 가난한 자의 문제 또는 시스템의 문제가 되게 보편적으로 계속되고 있는 것 같아요.
So it's interesting the graphic novel came out in the 80s and those ideas were relevant then and they still are today, whether it's Korea or the US in 2014 or in the 80s. It's really just about the struggle between rich and poor.
그래서 뭐 제가 뭐 사회 운동을 하는 사람은 아니니까는 제가 어떤 솔루션을 뭐 해답을 할지 모르겠지만 대신 저는 이제 영화를 통해서 그 메시지를 얘기하려고 하는데 두 가지인 것 같아요. 그 크리스 에반스는 계속 앞으로 나가려고 하잖아요. 근데 앞으로 나가도 계속 기차인 거죠, 그죠? 근데 이제 영화 속의 송강호 씨, 그 캐릭터는 아예 기차를 폭파시켜서 밖으로 나가버리잖아요. 그래서 시스템을 바꾸려고 하는 사람과 시스템을 아예 파괴 내지는 시스템을 부정해버리는 사람이 나오는데 제 개인적으로는 그 송강호 씨 캐릭터, 램의 캐릭터가 가진 비전이 제가 이 영화에서 얘기하고 싶었던 것이고 하나의 솔루션이라고 생각합니다. 물론 되게 과격하고 관념적인 어떤 해답이지만 뭐 사이파이 영화잖아요. SF 영화를 통해서 또 이런 과격하고 관념적인 얘기를 해볼 수 있는 게 그게 또 SF 영화의 매력이라고 믿습니다.
He doesn't consider himself a social activist, but if there's a message that he wants to convey in the movie, there's really two kinds of characters. Like Chris Evans, he wants to move forward inside the train, but he's still in the train anyway. Whereas the character of Nam, played by Song Kang-ho, he wants to explode the train and go outside. So it's really about people living in the system and one person wanting to change the system and one trying to destroy it. So personally, his vision is closer to Nam, and of course it's a very extreme and drastic solution, but he aligns more to that. And he felt that within this genre of sci-fi, it's okay to express it in those terms.
Over here, yes.
How did you shoot the scene of the aquarium? Was that on a green screen or CGI?
Actually, there was nothing on the sound stage. So no fishes, no water, even no glasses. There was only the small glasses for the actor Ivan Bremner touched that, and all the other empty space and green screen. And yeah, but the Method Studio, the VFX company, they did quite good job, I think.
There was another one over here, yes.
Did you consider any other actors for the role of Curtis?
Did you consider any other actors for the role of Curtis?
예, 여기 뭐 기자분들은 안 계시죠?
There aren't any reporters here, right?
Michael Fassbender and Tom Hiddleston. Whole schedule conflict. I love Chris. Chris did a great job.
There was one other question at the same corner. Yeah.
So in the movie, the Telsex people eat the protein block, and it actually looks similar to a Japanese and Korean dessert called Yokan. And she was wondering if that was the influence.
여러분들 여기 뭐 한국이나 일본 분들 아니어도 일본 스시바 같은 데 갔을 때 그 디저트 중에 그 선택하면 그거 나올 수 있을 거예요. 보면은 정말 되게 비슷하긴 해요. 근데 소품팀 체코 이제 미술 소품팀한테 뭐 어떻게 생긴 거냐 했을 때 이제 레퍼런스로 그거를 보여준 건 사실이에요. 일본이랑 한국 양갱을 사다가 보여주고 이런 느낌으로 만들어라. 근데 만약에 실제로 바퀴벌레를 이렇게 그라인드 해가지고 분말로 만들어갖고 뭐 사람들한테 대량 배급하기 좋게 만든다면 실제 그런 형태가 될 것 같아요. 있을 법한 일이라고 생각해요.
So if you go to a sushi restaurant and order dessert, you could very well have that. It could can see it, and it does look very similar to that in terms of giving references to his prop team in the Czech Republic. He did show them images of this dessert. But if you think about it, if you thought about mass producing and grinding these cockroaches into edible food for the masses, it would look very similar to that.
그리고 영화에서 보면 그 틸다 스윈튼이랑 제이미 벨이 이걸 실제로 먹는 장면이 있는데, 그래서 먹을 수 있는 소품을 만들었어야 됐거든요. 그래서 소품팀이 특별 관리해서 이제 먹는 소품은 따로 만들었는데, 그거는 뭐였지? 설탕하고 미역을 해가지고 맛은 별로 없었어요.
So in the movie, you see characters like played by Tilda Swinton and Jamie Bell, actually eating it. So the prop team had to make it edible. So it was actually made with a mix of sugar and seaweed, and it tastes very good.
We have time for maybe one or two more questions. In the middle, yes.
Each of the endings for the comic book, both arcs, ended differently from your film. I actually preferred your ending to theirs, but what was it that led you in that direction rather than holding more similar to the original concept?
So he liked your ending, but it differs from the comic book, different ending of the comic book. So what led you to your ending for the film?
사실 뭐 달리는 기차에 생존자들이 타고 있다. 그리고 뭐 부자 앞 동네, 뭐 뒷동네 못 사는 애들. 이 기본 설정만 이제 그래픽 노블에서 왔고, 나머지는 사실 뭐 인물이나 모든 게 다 새롭게 써 있잖아요. 인물이나 모든 에피소드 자체가 다 새 거니까 자연스럽게 엔딩도 다르게 될 수밖에 없었던 것 같고, 한 시대가 끝나고 새로운 시대가 시작되는 걸 보여주고 싶었어요. 그러니까 기차 세대, 그러니까 기차 뭐 17년간 달린 기차가 나오는데, 기차의 한 시대가 종말되고 새로운 시대가 다시 땅으로 이제 땅을 밟는, 땅 또는 눈을 밟는 이미지도 많이 강조되고, 뭐 식물칸에서 땅을 만지는 이미지도 나오는데, 땅으로 이제 인간이 다시 돌아온 새 시대를 표현하고 싶었고, 그래서 이제 마지막을 그런 식으로 표현했죠. 어떻게 보면 되게 희망적인 엔딩이다. 저는 그렇게 생각을 하는데, 낙관적인.
So just the basic concept of survivors inside of a running train with the rich and the poor divided, that was the idea that was taken from the graphic novel, but everything else is different. The characters and the episodes are different. So naturally the ending had to be different as well. As far as what he tried to express was the end of one generation and the beginning of a new generation. The people that were on this train for 17 years, how that world ends and the new generation begins, how mankind is now back to the earth, the snow, and the idea of stepping on the ground and starting over, that was emphasized. So he thinks it's a very positive ending.
그래서 그 여자애랑 남자애, 요나라는 애랑 이제 팀이, 그 둘이 살아남게 되는 것이고, 새로운 인류의 어떤 아담과 이브가 되는 것이겠죠. 물론 아이를 낳으려면 조금 기다려야겠죠.
So the last two, the only survivors are Yona and the little boy Tim. So it's sort of like the new Adam and Eve, and they would start the next generation of mankind. Of course, they would have to wait a few years.
So I want to ask you one more question before we end about when this film premiered in Berlin. You weren't able to be there, but you taped or you had a Skype introduction where you were on the set of a film. It was something like a ship, and there was a bunch of dead bodies around you when you introduced the film. You sort of threw them around. What was that film? And then because
That is the
filmed-
movie I'm producing now,
Yeah.
so please don't spoil it.
When are we going to get to see that? Because you've whet our appetite for film, and we're going to want to see something new from you very soon. So what can we expect, or what's the next thing we'll be able to see that you're directing, and also what are you producing that we can look for as well?
The movie I'm producing now is the movie called The Sea Fog. The Korean title 해무. The director is the guy who was co-writer of my previous movie, Memories of Mother. his feature film. It's a very strong thriller and at the same time love story based on the real case. So coming soon. Now I'm writing a script, two scripts at the same time. I still don't know exactly what kind of story it is, but I'm writing that. It's Korean language movie, smaller budget than.
Great. Well, we'll just have to do a retrospective of your work and invite you back. So, you can, so thank you so much.
He's not only the translator, he is a co-producer of this movie.
멋있다.